Hey guys, I'm your host, Nova underscore Steam, and I'm here with Mr. Branch, and we're watching 10 scary stories that are real, that even your mother wets her pants while she watches them.
Pantaloons be drenched.
Alright, well let's watch this.
Number 10, we have The Woman in the Cupboard. Now, this one is really strange, really odd. In 2000, a man in Japan became suspicious when food started disappearing from his apartment. So the man decided to set up cameras all around the place in the hope of catching whoever was doing this. When he got home the next day, he looked at the camera footage and he was very creeped out to see a woman walking around his house. He thought she was a burglar and she'd just come to steal
No,
some
she
stuff
lives
when he
in
was
there.
out. And so he
She
rang
looks
the
insane.
police. But when officers searched the place, they found a 58-year-old woman hiding
Holy
in
crap,
the top of a
58-year-old.
cupboard designed to store bedding and mattresses. What? This was just enough room for her
She
to
was
lie
hiding
down.
in
She'd
the
been
cupboard?
living in the cupboard the whole time, lying there perfectly still in the dark, just meters away from him.
Holy
waiting for him
crap.
to leave so she could use the house as if it were her own. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm going to do a quick check of every single cupboard in my house when I get home. And by
Yeah,
quick,
the
I
one
mean
that I
10
was thinking of
hours. Next up with
was a
number 9
different
now,
one.
we
Holy
have
shit.
That she had a good idea, but I think she like abused it too much. Like if I
Oh
was ever
yeah, for
homeless and
sure.
I was doing that, I would eat like tiny foods, barely drink any water, so that they wouldn't think that there's someone living in the house.
Mm-hmm.
have Armin Mewes. This story is not really for those with a delicate stomach, so look away if that's you. In the early 2000s, Armin visited a little-known website called the Cannibal Cafe. He posted a list looking for a well-built 18 to 25-year-old to be slaughtered and then consumed.
What the
His words,
fuck?
not mine. Yeah, normally young adults want good jobs, they want to travel, maybe find a partner and be slaughtered and then consumed. Apparently. Amazingly, a few people actually replied and then backed out, presumably when they realized it was insane. But one man, Bernard Brandes, actually went to Armin's house. They then made a video of Armin cutting off his penis. He then tried to cook it and eat it, but it got burnt apparently, so he fed it to his
That's
dog.
insane. This man
As
just
Brandes
cut
bled
off
to
his
death
own
in the
dick.
bathtub, Armin gave him alcohol and 20 sleeping pills and then read a Star Trek book for 3 hours. He
That's
then
insane.
kissed him and then killed him and then froze the flesh for 10 months while he lived off it and ground the bones into flour. Amazingly, he was only caught when he posted online the following year looking for his next meal and victim.
What?
Bragged about what had happened before.
That's
He is now serving
insane.
life in prison. Moving on to number 8 now, we have the Silent Twins. Jennifer and
Oh, I've
June,
heard
the
about
Gibbons
these two.
twins from the UK, were known as the Silent Twins because they only ever talked to each other. Their sisterly love, and then there was this. The girls were absolutely obsessed with each other and gradually began to shun the community around them, who were not very welcoming to the girls. Eventually, they developed their own language and started communicating and committing crimes together, such as arson. This led them to be committed to a mental health institution for 14 years. June later said the whole thing went too far, and although we longed to be normal, we couldn't break out. It was too late, we were twins, but our personalities clashed. She wrote in her diary that her sister was a dark shadow, robbing her of sunlight. Now, psychologists deemed
What the
them
fuck?
deeply disturbed, and the girls felt so trapped, they said the only way that one of them could lead a normal life was if the other one died and freed them. The day after they were released from the institution, Jennifer died from a rare heart inflammation. June began to speak to others and went on to live a normal life for the first
That's
time. She
insane.
wrote the epitaph on her sister's gravestone that read, "We once were two, we two made one. We no more two, through life be one. Rest in peace." Creepy. 7. I'm Watching You. In 2015, a woman called Chelsea Clark from Toronto was watching movies in bed with her boyfriend. The next day, after work, she logged into her Facebook account and saw that she had a message from someone she didn't know. Now, Chelsea thought this was quite strange because her settings didn't allow messages from strangers. The message was titled, "Really Cute Couple." Chelsea opened it to find a guy with his profile picture as the Joker had sent pictures of her and her boyfriend in bed the night before to her. The account was deleted soon after, and police investigations have made no
So basically a
leads
hacker.
at the moment. So, Next time you're watching something on your laptop, guys, maybe your tablet or your phone at night, someone could be watching right back at you. Next up at number 6, the Cemetery Clown. In 2015, Julie Graham and her husband were driving past Rose Hill Cemetery.
I remember when clowns used to be so popular.
Climbing over the cemetery gate.
Yeah.
They captured
But they used to
this
like scare the
picture,
shit out of
but it wasn't
everyone.
until they looped back around that they realized it was a clown. They tried to get a bit closer for a better look, and that's when they saw him standing alone in the middle of the gravestones, slowly waving at them. And yes, that is the creepiest looking
This
wave
looks so
of all time. He
fake.
didn't seem scared or bothered by them at
It doesn't look
all, but
real at
before
all.
The couple could even understand what was going on, the clown slowly turned around and walked into the darkness of the
what the
cemetery.
hell?
Now, when police investigated all of this the next day, they found no signs of vandalism or disturbance in the graveyard, leading many people to wonder what the cemetery clown was doing that night and if he's going to be seen again. Coming at number 5 now.
That'd
we
be
have
disturbing as hell.
children. In the 90s, respected journalist Brian Bethel shared a story that changed his and many others' opinions on the paranormal. One evening, Brian said he was parked outside of a local movie theater and filling out a check for someone. Then he looked up to see 2 boys standing next to the car in the darkness, no more than 10 or 12 years old. Now, before they even spoke, Brian said he was gripped with fear. He couldn't explain why, and that it was just incomprehensible and soul-wrenching. Only one of the boys spoke, and they said they wanted to see a movie, but they had left their money at home and asked if Brian could give them a ride back to get their money. Now,
That was
Brian
dumb.
avoided looking at them because of the
No.
fear, and instead looked up to see that the last show had already started, and there was no way they'd make it back in time. The boy said it wouldn't take long. He said they were just 2 little kids. He said they didn't have a gun or anything. Now, that last sentence scared Brian the most, and as the feeling of terror consumed him,
Oh.
he realized his hand was already moving to unlock the door. That's when he looked up to see their eyes. They
Oh my
were deep,
gosh.
cold black. Brian quickly made his excuses, but as he tried to drive away, the kid started banging on the window and said,
We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in.
Oh hell no.
Number
Well,
4,
now
we
then.
have Robert the Doll. Now, this doll
Oh
was given
nope,
to a
nope.
boy
I'm not
Eugene
watching this.
Otto in
I'm not watching
1994,
this.
a Jamaican
I'm
woman
not
who
watching
worked
this.
as
You
a
know
model
why?
and was supposedly
that
a
one.
practicer of
I'm
black magic
seriously
and
not
voodoo.
watching this.
She had supposedly cursed the doll because she was unhappy with how the family had treated her, and they soon reported hearing conversations between Eugene and Robert the doll. At night, his parents would hear Eugene scream, and when they ran into the bedroom, they would find the furniture around Robert had been thrown around. When the family left to go on trips, the neighbors reported seeing Robert move from window to window of the
Yeah.
house, and they would sometimes
Can you pause
hear
it?
the doll let out a terrifying cackle. Over time, the house was sold on to a new family, but the doll remained there. The new
Are they
owner,
showing
a
pictures of
10-year-old
him?
girl, also
Yeah.
screamed
Okay,
in
I'm
the night,
definitely not
claiming
watching
that
this then.
Robert would move, and that one
Wonder
time
why.
he even tried to attack her.
Uh,
These days, he
I'll
sits
tell
at
you,
the
like,
Fort
after
East
this
Martello
video-
Museum in Florida, and was the inspiration for the horror movie Child's Play. Moving on to number 3 now. We have
Okay, we're good. Okay, pause
So,
it.
in 1886,
So apparently, right, the reason why you're not supposed to look at the doll is because when you look at its eyes, supposedly bad shit happens, right? I swear to you, before I got sick, I looked at its eyes and then I got sick. This one like paranormal YouTuber too, he like when they were doing the video of Robert the Doll, literally I think then like in the next weeks or month, he got cancer. And supposedly it's like a bunch of like stories of like you're not supposed to look at the doll or the doll's face because then like bad things start happening to you.
Peter, I might get AIDS, and you didn't tell me that before I saw the doll.
Nah, because I was like, even if I tell him, I don't think he would like care
Nah,
and he
that
would
would-
still look at it.
So well.
6 pharmacist H.H. Holmes bought a number of properties in Chicago that left him owning an entire city block. He began renovating them into a hotel. He would hire some workers for one part and others for a different area, so nobody really knew the full
Chicago.
extent of the hotel's layout. It was finished just in time for the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, where people from all over the world descended on the city. But this wasn't a normal hotel. Almost every part of it was some sort of torture chamber. For most of that year, he trapped unsuspecting guests in their rooms
I
to
just
kill
realized
them.
I have to
There
edit
were
this
gas
video.
chambers and also rooms to suffocate people or starve them to death, as well as a hanging room. I'm not even sure what a hanging
I
room
want to go to the
means,
hotel.
but sounds pretty nasty. The whole building was designed to confuse the victims and give them a false sense of hope. There were staircases that led to absolutely nowhere, and doors
There's
that were
another place
totally
like this
bricked off.
too
Once
that
they
has
were
to do
dead,
with like
Holmes
the gun,
disposed of the
like
bodies through a
the people that
specially
made that certain
designed
type of
chute
gun.
to dump them into the basement and then incinerate them in huge furnaces. He is known as America's first serial killer. Moving on to number 2, we have the real Leatherface. This is the story
yeah, I
that
know this one.
inspired the
Yeah, I think
movie
I've heard this
Psycho,
one.
Silence of the Lambs. So, what real life story could produce such horror? It's the story of Ed Gein. This man had a disturbed obsession with his own mother, who had raised him during the earlier 20th century, with strict religious teachings about the sins of lust and desire. Now, after she died in 1945, Ed began to spiral into the life of a serial killer. At first, he would dig up bodies of recently buried females and cut off their body parts to keep as trophies before placing them back in the graves. Then he stepped
I
up
thought this
and
was.
began a
I
killing
thought he
spree
like
before police
put their
finally
skin
caught him.
as
When they
wallpaper.
discovered the dismembered body of a woman in his farmhouse shed,
And use them as a suit.
investigators were also horrified by what else they
shit.
found. A freshly cooked human heart was on the stove, ready to be eaten. He'd made drinking bowls out of their skulls, and the creepiest thing, I think, was what he had done with his victim's skin. He used them to make furniture, face masks, and women's clothes out of women's skin. I know that
Ew.
horror movie classics were inspired by this, but yeah, they can't really touch on how creepy this really was.
Yeah,
And
he's a
finally, at
psychopath.
number 1, we have the death of Elisa Lam. Elisa was a 21-year-old Canadian woman who was visiting LA in 2013. She stayed at the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA and had been calling her parents every single day on her visit. But then on January 31st, the call
Is this
suddenly
that one
stopped.
elevator
Her
game?
worried
I
parents reported
think
her
so.
missing to the police. She seemed to have just vanished out of nowhere. Then on February 14th, the police released this
Yeah.
video of her
Oh,
behaving
yeah, it is
very
the elevator one.
erratically in the hotel elevator. She seemed to exit and then re-enter, and then started making some sort of gesture to something in the hallway outside. At one point, she simply crouches as if to hide from whatever is out there. Eventually, guests of the hotel started complaining about the water, saying it was black, foul-tasting, and had low
Her
pressure.
body was
Now,
in
when
there.
staff went to investigate the water tank on the roof of the hotel, they found Elisa Lam's
How the hell did she
decomposing
get up
body.
there, though?
That's why the water was
Who
black.
knows?
Oh god. The police don't know how she got onto the roof, which was locked and alarmed, or how she got into the tank and then replaced the lid from the inside, or what was going on in that elevator. Something really creepy.
think I just
Some
got
people
an
think that this
idea.
all points to a murder. Others say it was supernatural in nature, that Elisa was actually possessed. Millions of
I say
people have now
supernatural.
watched the infamous elevator
I'm
video,
getting a
and many
theory
people
right
say
now, an
something
idea.
about it is very, very disturbing. Will it ever be solved?
Okay, I'm getting an idea for Elisa. I feel like it's murder. Like, I feel like someone gave her a drug. She became crazy, and then they took her into the water tank and threw her into the water tank. Closed at the top.
But
and sealed her up.
they said that like the door had an alarm though.
The person could have been a worker who turned off the alarm, turned off the security cameras,
Oh, yeah,
and then
right.
proceeded to do the murdering. Yeah,
It could have been.
that's my theory. Oh, that murder castle thing, the one with the rooms and the trap doors outside, actually sounds pretty cool. I want to go to that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there is a literal house that has like what's it called? Rooms that are like empty, doors that lead to nowhere, stairs that go up and down, and like other stairs that go nowhere too, and then like different sized rooms and shit. And I think it's called the Winchester House. And it's like it's big.
Hmm.
And it's like it's haunted and shit too.
Haunted? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, it is. It is the Winchester House.
That's pretty cool. I would want to go there.
Yeah, me too.
Well, guys, those are our 10 stories with that lethal combination of being scary and real. But which one was your favorite? How have I missed?
Well, guys, thank you guys for watching. The original video is going to be linked down below. Same with our Twitch channels. Make sure you guys go and follow us. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment which story was the most scariest to you. Thank you guys for watching. Anything to add?
This video gets 10 likes. I'll taste candle wax.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.